Thank you so much, Lisa. What a joy it is to be here today and to take a stand. What do you stand for? I'm not always aware of what I stand for. I'm not always aware. I think sometimes I'm standing for one thing, and yet sometimes my actions, without my even being aware of it, are not in alignment with that. This whole year, we've been talking about a grand rising and seeing the oneness of God in everyone, waking up to the oneness. That's what we're talking about today. And then when we do that, when we wake up to the oneness, then we can transform how we see and how we experience the world into a place of peace and love. And isn't that what we always want? At Christmas, holiday seasons, we say peace, Valentine's Day, love. That's what we're about. Peace and love. What if we woke up to the idea that we're all one? And what if that idea that we're all one brought us more peace and love? This is what we do when we have the affirmation that we said today: the divine in me recognizes and honors the divine in you. The divine in me. That means I've got the divine in me, and it recognizes the divine in you. We are one. What if we lived like that? What would that be like? So, when it feels like everything is falling into pieces, how do you find more peace? I don't know about you, but sometimes I get confused and I just fall asleep in this illusion of separation. And I think that there is no peace in the world. I listen to the news. I hear there's war. Somebody else is making war. There's a war we don't even know about going on. And then there's that internal war. And that spiritual wisdom and tools help us awaken and rise to the truth that, as Dr. Ernest Holmes said, peace is always at the center of our own soul. Oneness, peace, harmony. These are spiritual tools in our toolkit that help us have that grand rising into our next personal and collective experience of peace. We don't have to wait to say the end of the service when we say, peace begins with me. We don't have to wait. We can do that now in every moment as we practice this grand rising, this coming into a new awareness. So, this whole month of September, we're exploring what is peace, how to cultivate inner peace, peace with others, peace in community, and peace on earth. And put all of these pieces together in order to rise up and be the peace that we see in the world. Peace begins with me. Do you really believe that? So, when we view the world through the lens of otherness, like out there, somebody out there, then it can be a very scary place. But we may not feel safe, and we feel like we need to protect ourselves either by a fortress around us outside or that fortress that we have around our hearts inside. And we reach out then in defensiveness and fear. It's like what you fear then comes about. So when we have this grand rising intentionally waking up to a world of oneness, which is peace and namaste, honoring each other, the divine in me and the divine in you. Then we move into a place of love, curiosity, cooperation, compassion. Our lives change for the better, and we experience that world inside of peace, love, and harmony now. And when we experience it inside, it cannot help but be revealed outside. See, there's one infinite reality, and we call it by many names: God, life, universal spirit, infinite intelligence, first cause, the thing itself. These are terms that we might use in science of mind. And in people who have other belief systems, they have different words. But there's only one infinite reality. It's undivided, complete, and whole within itself. And this oneness creates everything out of itself. Everything. Tangible, intangible, physical, metaphysical, everything. In our Declaration of Principles, It says, we believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. And when we tune into this truth, that we are each Spirit made manifest, and touch that oneness, how deeply we realize that we are one, and we move beyond that sense of other and awaken to the sense of oneness. This is the place of peace, the peace that passes understanding. Did you sing that as a child? The peace that passes understanding. I didn't know what that was. So we can all look into the eyes of another and see God in everyone. This is our goal. Namaste. Namaste is that unconscious dream of the world where there is a sense of a oneness. And in the unconscious world, there can be a sense of otherness, a sense of separation. Oh, them over there, the neighbors across the tracks, the people that live in, the competing team's territory, otherness. And that can be scary. And then we react in fear. So through knowing our spiritual identity as one with the divine, we realize that there is no one else out there. There is no one else to blame for our situation. Oh dear, that we are totally responsible and we are one. So we are not alone in that. We are not alone. We are all one. And when we realize that we're connected with everyone else, and it takes each and every one of us to create wholeness and oneness. If you're not there, the puzzle is not complete. We each have to be there taking a stand for what we believe in. Oh, and I'm, by the way, preaching to myself today because when I wake up from the unconscious sleep of separation and have this grand rising, I consciously move into that place of oneness, compassion, and peace. And let me tell you, I am excited to be there. So let's just, for a moment, Brett, if you could let us see each other. So take me off the spotlight and let us look around this room. If you put your video on the gallery view and just look around and notice the people, all different. And now just look and notice. Some cameras on, some cameras off. And now close your eyes and go within for just a moment. Just go with me here. And consciously move your attention and energy to your heart space. Let's move it there. Let's breathe into your heart. Oh, another breath. Breathe in and let go. And just take a moment to connect with the divine. We've been talking about the divine. Let's take a moment to connect now. Until you start to feel that sense of oneness. And just let that grow, that sense of oneness. We're all one. We're not alone. Until you start to feel very safe in your surroundings and at peace. And now open your eyes and look around the Zoom room again, only this time from the eyes at your heart center. Look into each other's eyes and feel the word namaste. Just feel that. The divine in me honors the divine in you. And look around the room and just feel the shift of oneness. We're all on the same page here, literally. And notice the sense of peace. Notice how you feel and how it's different maybe from the first time. And that recognition of the good and the divine intelligence that within us keeps us connected to spirit, to ourselves, and to our spiritual community. Thank you, Brett. You can spotlight me again. And in trusting ourselves and the spirit, what a divine love it is. What a life it is. We receive compassion from each other And we gave that compassion. We gave that oneness. We opened that. We have to be open to receive, and we have to stand for something. So part of that is the pause. Between stimulus and response, this is from Viktor Frankl, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our responses. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. Now, the fascinating thing that is within that space, that pause, that nanosecond, we tell ourselves an entire story about what's happening. Here's a sailor story. Two sailors ran into each other in a pub, and one of the men told the other about his last voyage. That almost a month at sea, we discovered our masts had been eaten through by termites. Almost nothing left of them. Oh, that's terrible, said the second sailor. That's what I thought, said the first sailor, but it turned out to be good luck. As soon as we took the sails down to fix the masts, we were hit by a squall so suddenly and so hard it would have surely blown us over if our sails were up at the time. Oh, how lucky! That's what I thought. But since the sails were down, we couldn't steer ourselves, and the wind blew us onto a reef. The hole in the hull was too big to fix, and we were stranded. Oh, that's bad luck indeed. Well, that's what I thought. But we all made it to the beach alive, and while we were on the island whining about our terrible fate, we discovered a buried treasure. So what's an example of a story you told yourself? What story have you told yourself that, oh, this is terrible, or maybe a story about someone else or an interaction you had with someone else? I kind of had that last night. We went to a concert with Michael Gott as the performer, and it was wonderful. And he asked for um, requests. And I said, well, I want to hear Piano Man. And then he started playing Piano Man. And then I had this terrible feeling of, oh my gosh, I should have asked him to play one of his originals. Why did I ask him to play something else? So I told myself a story about that. Oh, he's going to think I don't like his stuff. So I was telling myself a story, right? Probably none of which was true. And I think the audience probably liked the song as well. And he did such a personal version of it, which is what I was asking for, that personal effect. It's like, okay, I was telling myself a story. It's not true. But whatever happens, objectively, you know, it didn't have the same meaning that I had applied to it momentarily. I just gave it that meaning, and then I responded based on that. It's like, I'm sure my face flushed, and oh my gosh. So the next question to ask ourselves then, is it true? Is it really true? What was true about that situation? Well, what was true is he played the song. It was beautiful. The audience loved it, and he moved on to the next song. So I asked myself then, what is the outcome? So is it true? What is the outcome that we want? Because being right can be very seductive. I don't know about you, but I do like to be right. And there's something about our egos that really enjoy being right. So sometimes I have to say, do I really want to come together in peace, love, and harmony, or do I want to be right? Brene Brown, in her book Rising Strong, invites us to use the phrase, the story I'm telling myself is, when we're triggered. The story I'm telling myself is. The story I was telling myself when I had that flush of embarrassment was, I did something wrong. I should have done something else. That was my story. And who knows? Maybe somebody else also needed to hear that sound. So if I say the story I'm telling myself is when I'm triggered, then I am owning up that what's going on in me, and it gives the rest of the people an opportunity to say what's going on in them. Oh, so practice the pause, slow down, breathe. Oh, and when we do that, we explore the story we're telling ourselves. And those old tapes and patterns, I don't even know we had old tapes anymore because we don't have tapes, but we used to think about it as old tapes. And how does that keep us from being peace, and how does that not support the peace and love we want to be in the world? See, we have to choose our peace. I know you've heard the phrase, we choose our battles. Well, what if we consciously chose the peace? We have a choice. Kind of reminds me of the uh, the man on the small plane in the Northwest. He was asked by the flight attendant, "Would you like dinner?" And he said, "Well, what are my choices?" She said, "Yes or no." Sometimes that's the choice, yes or no. So you may have heard the statement, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And we start to notice old habit patterns that we've repeated over and over again, and we get to make a new choice. So we change what we're doing and choose peace. So if I were to take a stand, then I would have to say, I am willing to choose peace. So as I was preparing this talk and thinking about the musical selections, I came across the original video of "We Are the World," which Lisa sang at the beginning of of the service. And I was blown away by seeing the talent that was in the room recording that song, even though they were way younger then. That was done in 1985. And some of them are no longer with us. And then I looked a little farther and I watched a video in which a very young Jane Fonda talked about the gathering that took place to do that recording. The crew and the musicians started arriving at 9 p.m. and finished the next morning just before 9 a.m. Now, I know these are musicians and they're used to late hours, but that's a long time to work. And no one was paid. They all came together and checked their egos at the door and made something beautiful for the benefit of people they didn't even know. See, We Are the World is considered a prime example of unity because it brought together a diverse group of famous musicians from various genres to record a song for a charitable cause. So there was diverse artistry, they came together as a shared purpose, and they had a symbolic message. And the recording process itself emphasized this sense of collaboration and unity. This is how we make a difference. Now, we may not be famous recording stars, but we can come together and make a difference. There is something that we can do as we want to make a stand for peace. See, sometimes I think we place limits on God. I've done that. I said, well, God can do this, but this, I'm not sure. And it's not that I'm consciously saying that, but I'm saying that someplace in my mind or heart because whatever it is not happening. So we manifest the infinite to the degree that we are aligned with it. If we have a little good, then we must get a bigger bucket to hold the infinite good that is available to us. And our spiritual practices, prayer, affirmations, meditation, gratitude, these expand our consciousness so that we can bring more light into our lives. And as we bring it into our lives, we bring it into the world. So when we see ourselves from the truth of our being, which is that oneness, we experience that inner life that is bigger, more real than our external circumstances. And because we have that mental equivalent of something greater than our external circumstances, which are just the movie playing out, have to change to accommodate that input of the bigger bucket. So I sometimes get confused over the appearance of form. So it looks like this is what's happening, or this is the way it is, or this is what this is. But instead, we have to know that as we use the law, we can change any form which is not harmonious. We name the condition, and then we know the truth, investing more energy in the truth than in the appearance. And if you do this, you might even think about watching the news as an active prayer session. Ain't so. There is peace. Peace is all there is. Sometimes it's only just one more that's needed. Two birds are sitting in a tree branch in winter. Tell me the weight of a snowflake, a cardinal asked a dove. Nothing more than nothing, was the answer. In that case, I must tell you a marvelous story. I sat on the branch of a fir, close to its trunk, when it began to snow. Not heavily, not in a raging blizzard, no, just like a dream, without a word, without any violence. And since I didn't have anything better to do, I counted the snowflakes sitting on the twigs and needles of my branch. Their number was exactly 3,700,041,952. And when the 3,741,953rd snowflake dropped onto my branch, nothing more than nothing, as you say, the branch broke off. And having said that, the cardinal flew away. And the dove, who since Noah's time has been the authority on the matter, thought about the story for a while and finally said to herself, perhaps there's only one person lacking for peace to come to the world. What do you stand for? Do you stand for peace? Peace begins in your heart. It starts at home. Dr. Ernest Holmes says peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. Confusion comes from a sense of separation. So when we intentionally wake up from the illusion of separation, then we're having the grand rising into oneness. So we put all of these pieces of peace together. Let us learn to live from a place of namaste, seeing the God in everyone we meet. And let us learn to pause, practice the pause for peace, and compassionately ask ourselves, what is the story we're telling ourselves? And is this real? Then consciously choose what we do want, to take back our power to choose peace. And when we do these things and consciously choose peace, then we are making the world as a whole more peaceful now. So I invite you to take a stand for peace. Or in this case, we're going to sit for peace. So let's just begin a meditation. Now I'm going to ask Lisa to play along with us today. So just sit comfortably, just relax. Notice yourself in sitting. Just breathe naturally and watch the breath going in, going out, and focus on your breathing for a while. Maybe again, focus your attention, the area of the middle of your chest, around your heart, and repeat to yourself gently, softly, love, love, love. May my heart be filled with love. As you do this, bring to mind someone or something you feel caring and loving towards. Maybe that soft, lovable dog, or the serene look on someone's face. A baby that is just due right now into the world, taking its first breath. This is an image just to kickstart those feelings of something of love in your heart. And then just feel the sense of caring, healing, soothing. Just let it wash over you and through you. And then gently repeat this to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease, and may I be happy. I know you've done this before, so move on to someone else, anyone else. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. And now let's just give it to ourselves. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be well. May we all be peaceful and at ease, and may we all be happy. And to anchor this firmly in your consciousness, I'm going to ask Lisa to sing that.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy.
And now that we have breathed in that and it's been anchored in our consciousness, let us just say thank you. The world is a more peaceful place in this very moment. And so it is. As we radiate the warmth of love and peace to people all around, let us again repeat. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be well. May we all be peaceful and at ease. May we all be happy.